Hello and welcome to another episode of iTunes' #1 failing podcast. I'm your host, Mike Racine, and with me is my beautiful fiance on a sinking ship. We're a sinking ship, baby.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
30 Patreon subscribers down this month.
Well,
actually, I think we lost 30. We gained 10.
Okay, so you're only down 20.
We're down 20.
Did you read those exit interviews?
Yes.
What were they? This shit is trash.
Let me see.
Get an outline.
Matt sucks. Matt sucks. Matt sucks. Matt sucks.
Is that true, or are you improv?
No, I don't know. Anyway, but you know what? Today, you know what? I'm not a fucking quitter.
Right.
And with today's episode, we're going to get him back.
All right. Good. I'm ready.
Thanks. Because that's what women like, ambition. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Even when a guy is clearly failing.
Ambition makes me so horny.
What's that?
Not the fussing in the front end.
Mm-hmm.
It's, can I get a?
Right. It's like even when a man is objectively failing, you have to project ambition. Right. Even when you're 64 years old.
Right.
And it's like you're still doing improv with a bunch of 20-year-olds.
Right.
You still have to be like, I got this, baby.
Right. I'm going to be the best improv.
I'm going to be on Saturday Night Live. Just you watch. Yes, I have been on Twitter for 47 years. But you know what? I just feel like it's going to happen.
There's always those people
Lauren really likes guys like me. Lauren's head is frozen in a jar, and he just wheels around in a wheelchair yelling at people.
He's like that guy from The Nightmare Before Christmas who made Sally.
Yeah. No, but he's just a head on he's just a head on wheels. Mm-hmm. And they found a way to give him little lobster hands.
Ah.
Yeah. He has lobster hands, and he has Colin Joe's torso. When he had Colin killed.
Aww.
He just has Colin's torso and lobster hands, and he wields
Not a bad torso to keep.
He wheels around. What? What did you fucking say? He just wheels around in a thing and his head's in like a little like jar of water from Futurama.
Right, got it.
He's just like, this sketch is trash. You want to keep your job? You think you want to? I'm firing your ass so fast. Pete Davidson's like,
the same.
Yeah, he's like in his late 50s. He just looks like your uncles.
Yeah. There are so many people who are like, well, Louis C.K. didn't get discovered until he was in his 40s.
Yes, everybody thinks that.
Yeah.
And it's a shame.
Everyone loves that story.
Every single person holds on to that story. Yeah. Anyway. Well, so a lot of times people will be like, hey, what's your podcast about? Because I'll be like, it's called The Sit Down. It's about organized crime. And they go, oh, so what have you covered recently? And we haven't done the mafia in a while. We haven't, and so I'll always be like, well, we did some Epstein episodes. We'll cover corporate stuff, what have you. But I do like talking about one of the biggest gangs in this country. Oh. The fucking cops.
Right. The cops, the biggest gang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you related to any cops?
No, I know you are, though.
Yeah. I can't imagine they, did anything major. I feel like they're a bunch of storytellers. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure they pulled people over.
But your uncles are funny because it's like fireman, garbage man, gay guy.
You forgot Uncle Edward.
What does
painter.
He do? Union painter, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but your family's very pro-cop.
Yeah, because they were cops, and it's silly to be anti-cop. I think, totally,
right?
Because there's no way that there's any widespread group of
if you hate cops,
people.
You know what I say? Why don't you call a crackhead?
Right.
Next time you need help.
No.
Next time someone breaks into you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he could probably help you. He's scary. Other people would run away. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to be touched by a crackhead. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there if we were brainstorming. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. There's obviously crime. I have the Citizen app. Everyone in our neighborhood has a gun except us. And like lots of crime happens at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
It's like face slash, armed robbery, car overturned.
So it's like 6 a.m. is for like go-getters and face slashers.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just imagine someone who's like reading Alpha Leader's Instagram and they're like, today, you know what? I'm getting up and today's my day. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And then their face gets slashed.
Maybe it's like 5:30 a.m. and by 6 is when it's getting reported though. Because it's dark. It's got to be dark when all this is happening. Yeah. And I think this is just like people who are overtired and don't go to bed. And then they sleep all day. And then they wake up at like 3 or 4. They feel guilty. They start drinking or doing stuff. And then by the time...
And then they're up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
They're like, I haven't done anything with my day.
I better slash someone's face.
I better slash someone's face.
Yeah.
Does it say face slashing on the app?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrifying. A lot of like...
Well, you shouldn't be anti-cop, but sometimes cops are the ones who commit the crimes, believe it or not.
Yes. Yeah, it's really insane. I mean, I still think about that case of the woman who was pulled over.
Sandra Bland.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she mysteriously committed suicide in jail. Like.
Yep. Nothing to see here. This woman hung herself with a garbage bag.
No way. I've never tried to kill myself, but I would imagine it is difficult. I don't think people can very easily. You'd have to be highly motivated to kill yourself and like also have thought about it.
Yeah, there's still like not really answers of what happened. Like every once in a while you'll see Sandra Bland's name in the newspaper and something will come up and it'll usually just be like, a guy who killed her got a promotion or something.
And also statistically,
but
women
where are
very bad at killing themselves because they are concerned about how their body is found. Especially like if you're in jail, you don't have any resources. Like I'm making a lot of assumptions here, but I know Kate Spade did kill herself with one of her scarves or whatever. But I'm sure there was like she had access to alcohol and pills, like things to make her a little bit more disoriented and pass out a little bit easier. But if you're just in jail, you don't have any substances to like
it's crazy.
Influence you. So you're just stone sober and then like and her family was like she never made any sort of like indication that she was depressed or harmful.
Yeah, it's almost one of those infuriating things and it's like Jeffrey Epstein where it's like you expect journalists, you expect there to be answers and there just aren't any.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of like, it's just crazy that we're like mad for like a couple days. Like after it happens, we're mad for a couple days. We post, we tweet, we retweet, we share stuff.
I definitely posted about Sandra. I was one of those people who were like, this is an outrage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do still think about her. I think that's insane.
Did you watch the video?
I did multiple times.
The traffic stop, yeah.
And I always think about like the way her arm was like bent behind her back and like the way she screamed. She wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It escalated very quickly.
Yeah.
It starts because it's funny. It starts when the cop says, "Can you put your cigarette out, please?"
Yeah.
And then she says, I don't have to put my cigarette out."
Right, because she doesn't, like, she understands that's not against the law.
Yeah.
So if he was like, could you put your seatbelt on? Could you show me your license? Could you, like, I don't know, anything that's, like, within a legal realm.
Yeah.
But there's no law. It's just respect. And she's like, why should I have to? Especially, like, wasn't there, I don't know about the reputation of the police in that place prior, but it's just sad.
That might have been Texas too.
It was?
Yeah, let's come back to that later in the episode because I want to talk about, so today Amber Guyger, a Dallas police officer, was found guilty of murder in the death of her neighbor Botham Jean. And Botham Jean was a guy at the time. So September 6, 2018, he's sitting in his apartment. He's in his pajamas. He's eating ice cream. She comes into the apartment. She thought it was her apartment, and she shoots him.
Have you? Okay, so I have certainly accidentally gone up to cars that were not mine or cars that I thought were mine. Okay. As soon as I get to that window, I'm like, wow, this interior is way cleaner than I thought I remember it being, or where's all my stuff? I quickly realized that's someone else's white Jetta.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time I was in Bay
and
Ridge.
To be fair, you're in Staten Island where it's just the official car.
There's lots of them.
Yeah, there's the same Roxy sticker on it and the pink dice. And
so it wasn't my fault. But I have
there's a picture of Devon Sawa on the sun visor.
Like now and then Devon Sawa, not Idle Hands Devon Sawa.
Whichever.
Well,
Devon
I like
Sawa,
the 13-year-old version of him.
Whichever
better.
Devon Sawa that you masturbate to.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just don't see how somebody, again, without being under the influence of some sort of substance, there are things that you recognize when you walk into your apartment. Your door, your doorknob,
It's a very bizarre story.
The mat, or or the shoes.
I watched the body cam footage of one of the cops after she shot the guy. So she calls for backup. And it's like it does, his apartment looks like a guy's apartment.
Another thing I wanted to bring up.
Meaning it definitely looks like no knock on him or anything, but
it's a guy's apartment.
It looks like a single guy. It looks like a single guy's apartment.
Yeah, you lived in a place that looked like a serial killer's
That's not
den.
True. That's not true.
Before I entered
think so.
your life.
I think
you had white walls, a mattress, and socks everywhere. One dresser.
Yeah, I think I live simply and minimally. I'm a minimalist, and I think back then my rent was $450 a month, so I don't think it's fair for you to criticize the way I lived.
I do remember on our first date, I was like, "What'd you do today?" And you're like, I cleaned the apartment. I made some food for lunch for the week." I'm like, "Wow, he's got his shit together. He's responsible." And then I went back to your apartment. I'm like, "What did he clean?"
Well, you still let me. All right, so
shut up.
All right, so back to the police murder.
Yeah.
So she goes to his. She's in his house and she shoots him. And apparently she didn't. So what I understand is that she was also sexting with another cop. Because cops love to fuck each other.
Well, they have to spend long shifts together. They're protecting one another.
Right.
They're in danger. So it's
right.
A roller coaster
if I'm a cop
of emotions.
and I have a female partner and she saves my life, and be like, oh my God.
Right.
It's going to feel so romantic.
Yeah. Of course she'd save your life.
Right. That's the point I was making.
Sorry.
So she was her trial was this week, and I heard that her defense team tried to invoke a law called the Castle Doctrine.
Right, I'm reading that right now.
Which means that your home is your castle.
Right, and you have the right to defend it.
And you have the right to defend it. So you can use deadly force in your home. If there's an intruder in your home, you can use deadly force.
But what? So it counts as mistakes? If you mistakenly, what if there was a man...
Your Honor, the law clearly states you can defend a black man's home from him.
But what...
if he's in what you think is your house.
How do you determine this is your house? Does that mean that our landlord could come in and shoot us because it's actually his house? Or what if there's a homeless guy who's constantly on the corner of
I'm pretty sure
blank
there's
and
laws.
blank?
I'm pretty sure there's laws that dictate, this is our place of residence, even though we're renters and we'll never own a home.
No, that's not true. Mistakenly walked in, yeah. He lived one floor above her. Is it one floor exactly?
So she lived on 1378. He lived on 1478. But another thing prosecutors brought up was that he had a bright red doormat, and his house looked different. I'm
going to assume, and it doesn't matter because this is just a podcast. this woman was drunk with her gun.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the only way you could just, like, accidentally go to... When did she move in?
I don't know, but...
Just muscle memory alone. How many times did she walk up her own stairs, walk into her own door?
Mm-hmm. Somebody on a comment thread said that, like, it's pretty common for people to, like, enter the wrong apartment. Like, people who are city dwellers do that sometimes. And it does happen. Like, I've been on moves, definitely, where, like, I push the wrong button and then I go up to the wrong apartment. Okay, that was your one day there.
Right. And when we lived on DeKalb, the door code to our building was the same as all the other buildings. There were only
3 units,
Listen
to
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The buildings on our block, all of the ones on our side, had the same door code.
Yeah.
So both Amanda and Maria went to the apartment building before ours, went all the way up to the 3rd floor, looked around, and was like, oh, this doesn't seem right.
No, but that happened to me one time. I was walking up the stairs, and there was a guy coming down from the 3rd floor to the 2nd floor, and I never saw him before. And I was just like, oh, what was...
Yeah, and you came in the house, and you're like, who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah, and I didn't get a chance to ask him, but it was weird. But maybe he, like, went into the wrong building and was too embarrassed to say something.
Right. That could be true. You did that to Che once, too.
Yeah, I knocked on Che's door, and I thought...
And there are all these Chinese New Year's decorations.
There were Chinese dragons on the door, and I was like, oh, I guess he's into Chinese dragons now. It's like his new hobby. So another
Who was at the door when they answered?
I think some young Chinese gentleman. Chinese American.
Were you like,
gentleman.
Is Michael Che here?
I was like, I have the wrong house.
Oh.
I'm sorry. And he was like, okay, because they're very polite people.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love the Chinese.
Yes.
Not all of them. I mean, everyone's an individual, but generally as a whole.
My best friend, Gabby, is pretty sweet, and she's way fun. So.
Do you even know what kind of Asian she is?
She's Chinese.
Is that your final answer?
Yes. I'm very confident she's Chinese.
All right. Sir. All right. Chinese. That's right. Deborah, you've won $5,000.
She claimed that she genuinely believed she was entering her own apartment, invoking a rarely used defense called the mistake of fact. Mm-hmm. Essentially, legal analyst Pete Schlute told the Washington Post. Like, that's so crazy. I'm glad that she was found guilty so that this could not become a precedent in law.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
So I watched this officer's body cam footage, and it did seem like, you know, they show up in the apartment and she's like super panicked, and she's like, I thought it was my apartment. Like, it doesn't seem like there's any. She doesn't seem like a sociopath, I guess.
Okay. But you said the man was, like, comfortably sitting on the couch eating ice cream and watching TV. So he wasn't, like, ransacking. He wasn't standing just in front of her.
He wasn't ransacking his own apartment.
No. So it's just, like, odd that you would be like, oh, I think someone's robbing my apartment. But maybe, like, who knows?
Yeah,
like,
he's like Goldie. He's like Black Goldilocks.
Right, yeah. But, like, why is she so afraid of someone who's seated and his back is toward you?
Well, so another interesting detail about this case is that she testified that, like, so she gets in the apartment and she goes, let me see your hands. And then he, like, puts up his hands, and then he goes, hey, and he starts to, like, come towards her. And that's when she shot him. She shot him 2 times. The medical examiner's story said that the bullet came from a downward trajectory, meaning that he was either seated or he was, like, on his knees when she shot him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to even see this from this person's perspective, but I wasn't there. So what if she did have, like, a very high crime day that was quite intense, and then it invoked a little bit, like, of PTSD? You know, it's just like all day I have been, you know, pursuing domestic disputes.
She's like, man, I had to arrest like 4 black guys eating ice cream, minding their own business.
No, see, I mean, it just doesn't seem like.
You think that maybe she was like amped up? She was
or
like
traumatized.
She was turnt, as they say.
I am saying if I dig deep.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be some know-it-all person with a pink microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Being like, well, there's no way she didn't recognize her own home.
Yeah.
And as a police officer, you should be trained.
Yeah.
You must be racist.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be that person.
Right.
But, like, I just feel like I know my things and I've mistakenly done things. But there's a point when you realize, like, you would have been like, that's not my couch. That's not my TV. This isn't the smell of my apartment.
You would have been like, oh, shit, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Like, there's no way the furniture was arranged the same. There's no way, like... And then that leads me to believe she was under the influence of some type of substance that could have, like, disoriented her. Mm-hmm. And then at that point, why do you have a gun on you?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the whole situation is really sad. And, like, it doesn't seem like she was like, oh, cool, I get to kill this guy now.
No, it seems more like, I'm not doubting it was a mistake. Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking she must have been under the influence of something, jumped to a conclusion, and then, regardless, like, she did not uphold the law. She's not protecting people if she's shooting them in their house. Mm-hmm. To protect homeowners against intruders, and now all of a sudden the intruder is trying to use it against the homeowner. Yeah, this law is not in place for her. It's in place
I'm trying to Google if she had any kind of, like, racist history or racist, like, social media posts.
I mean, it seems... So then that would be, like, you think it's, like, premeditated? Like, this woman went to this guy's apartment directly above her because he was, like, stomping too loud, or...
No, but if someone's like racist and they don't like black people and they see one and they think it's like their place, it's gonna have an influence on how you react when you're panicked and when your adrenaline's running high and
I mean, she's 26. She was 25 when she did that. She's
31 now, so she was like probably like 29.
Oh, I thought I read 26.
No.
Was he 26?
He was 26.
Oh.
So he would have turned 28 recently.
Yeah, he was 26. 26-year-old accountant just eating ice cream?
Yeah. In his pajamas. It's also really sad, too, because, like, a lot of people who knew the guy said that he was, like, a very upstanding, like, nice, polite guy who was, like, very well-liked. And they said that, like, he was a guy who was very aware of what it's like to be a black guy in America and how dangerous it was, and he, like, always drove the speed limit, and he, like, wore dress shirts, and you look at photos of the guy, and he just seems like a very, just like a very good guy. And I'm not saying that anybody, if you're not a good guy,
you don't have to wear dress shirts. That doesn't mean you're deserving of being shot. But no, it just makes it extra sad.
It makes it extra sad.
He went the extra mile just trying to be walking on eggshells.
It sucks that people have to live their lives this way.
So she found the door open. So she walked to the wrong floor. Like, she had to have been drunk.
Yeah.
Did anyone do a talk screen on her?
She's kind of hot, too. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. No, Deborah. No.
She's not hot. Look at this poor man's mother.
Yeah, I think that yeah.
The older sister testified his family hasn't been the same since her brother's death. She said it's also had an effect on her children and that her 11-year-old son is now afraid of police officers. Yeah. What are you playing?
It's this guy leading a worship. Yeah, he was like sitting home eating vanilla ice cream.
Oh, wait. Prosecutors also introduced evidence that could weigh in favor of a heavier sentence against the cop, including her disciplinary history, her social media posts exposing violence and text messages with racially offensive language.
Mm-hmm. What does that say?
One meme she saved on Pinterest read, "People are so ungrateful. No one ever thanks me for having the patience not to kill them." Nah.
Yeah.
Another Pinterest post read, "I better look at my Pinterest. Mm-hmm. I wear all black to remind you that I'm not to mess with because I already dressed for your funeral."
Oh no, she's goth.
So she's like ready to kill everyone.
She's like kind of violent. Yeah.
Yeah, I got me a gun. I got me a gun, a shovel, and some gloves. If I were you, I would back the F up and get the F out of here. Okay. She sounds really cool.
Well, here's a social media post. I don't know who she's with, and because they blurred out their faces, but she's with a guy who's like doing the okay hand gestures.
I do that all the time.
I know, but it's technically a white supremacist.
I didn't know that, but okay. Yeah. So okay, that's a vowel, consonant, vowel word, and it is very helpful in motor planning to help kids like, okay, oh no.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Like, okay. Like, those are like words that I use all the time, and then I always use that hand. I'm going to stop. Jurors saw text messages from the cop's phone that she sent as she worked a Martin Luther King Jr. Day Parade in Dallas in 2018. When she received a message asking when the parade ended, she responded, "When MLK is dead. Oh, wait." Defense attorneys had sought to keep the jury from seeing social media posts. Prosecutors also called a Dallas police sergeant to testify about disciplinary incidents in which a handcuffed suspect escaped her custody and a supervisor wasn't notified. I don't know. I'm not like totally like the Pinterest stuff is not moving me that much.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think there are good cops and bad cops. That's why that's been a long-running.
Amber Guyger was involved in a previous officer-related shooting, and Botham Jean's mother says her son did no one any wrong. If anyone should have raised the castle doctrine, it was Jean, prosecutors say, because he was just minding his business inside his own apartment when Geiger shot him. What does castle doctrine protect? Homeowners. It protects homeowners against intruders, and now all of a sudden the intruder is trying to use it against the homeowner. What are we doing? The prosecutor said. The decision to allow the jury to consider the castle doctrine or stand your ground law defense was made by Judge Tammy Kemp over prosecutors' objections. It said she was involved in another shooting?
Do you know what the apartment building looked like? Because I'm picturing like an outdoor motel looking apartment. I'm sure
think
it's
that's
not.
What it was.
It was?
It looks like it, yeah.
Really? You have pictures of it?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like an indoor. She didn't take an elevator or stairway. She took an outdoor stairway.
It sounds like it's a yeah, here's the door. Wait,
like an outside type apartment.
I think so. Yeah.
Like a California. I don't know. I only went to Texas with you like one time for a day. Oh yeah, so that's what I'm picturing.
What makes you bring that up?
Because if it was inside, it's like different rugs, different wallpaper, different paint. Sometimes, like, because I go to people's apartments all day, and I walk into the lobby, and I'm like, wait a second, what apartment are they? Yeah,
but a lot of those buildings are I think they're painted and decorated pretty uniformly.
But no, because I've gone on other floors, and I'm like, that's the doormat that I usually see, and that's how I know where to turn. Because I don't always remember 5C, 7C, 1406. Like, I don't always remember all that.
So you think it was like a pretty uniform? You think it was?
I feel like no matter how uniform it is, there are like distinguishing markers. Like there's this one house that I go to, and I always forget the floor. I have to ask the door person who like knows me by now. But I know that I'm in the right place because the first door in front of me has a sign that says like, please remove your shoes. And I'm like, wow, those people are cool. And then there's always boots outside the door that I go to.
Yeah.
But, like, I've gone to other floors by mistake, and they look different. Like, people have stuff outside their doors that look different. And unless I was, like, under the influence of something, I can't imagine I would go to... I go to people's apartments, like, twice a week, every week, for a full year. And then more if they ask me back, and most of my clients do. So, for years. So... I'm going to familiar yet unfamiliar places constantly.
So and you think it's strange that she didn't know she was
I think it's so strange. I think probability-wise, like, it's unlikely you wouldn't make a mistake, but you catch yourself before you do. And I've never knocked on the wrong door. Ever. I'm like, I don't feel confident in this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just weird. So okay, so let's go past the fact the events of her going and, like, getting the apartment wrong. But it's like when she walked in and she sees the guy there, she draws her weapon, and then what caused her to what made her shoot?
I
wish we had
fear?
Alex English here, or like a person of color.
Right, yeah.
Just to get it different.
Alex would have been, because, wait,
Alex
where is he from?
Let me tell you something about these police.
Is he from Texas?
Detroit.
Oh.
Well, I just want to say that, hey, Alex, how's it going? Oh, hi, thanks. What if he was like our wacky neighbor that just walked by the house every once in a while and came in?
Yeah, I wish.
Came in to talk and say what's up?
Yeah, he would be good on this episode.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it's pretty outrageous. It is, though. The only, like, it's kind of... It's like, people who are bad at committing crimes are often the ones who get caught and in trouble.
Yeah.
No, not do them. Like, there are worse people than this woman. This woman's dumb. Like, she was probably under the influence of something to make that type of mistake.
Yeah.
She was fearful, and she doesn't have good instincts.
Good dick.
No, because then she would have been like, I'm so glad this guy's on my couch.
No, she was horny. She was clearly horny.
If she was horny, she would have slept with him.
No,
she would have been like, thank you.
No, Deb, she was sexting her like boyfriend or partner.
Oh. Anyway, my point is that she doesn't have great instincts, and, like, she doesn't act well under pressure, obviously, and she's dumb, and she's the one who's caught and made an example of, and yet I'm sure she has not, like, this is awful what she did, but I'm sure there are way more cops that did worse things than her, but she was stupid and got caught.
Yeah.
And it's, like, all about her. Meanwhile, like, there's worse people out there. She's just dumb. That's what I think.
Yeah. But what do you think made her, she pulls her gun out. She sees the guy, like, what made her shoot him?
She's probably like, don't move, don't, or whatever. And he's like, what? I'm just watching TV. And she probably thinks he's like a squatter or drug addict or something. I don't know what she thinks. Like, there's no way it looks like your apartment.
Thinks it's her house.
Like, we have a blue couch.
Yeah.
That is our blue couch. I've wanted that blue couch. I was like, I want that couch. If I walked in and it was not a blue couch, I'd be like, this is not my house.
Right.
There's also so many places to put a couch.
Oh, but also it's like you have the gun. You have a badge and a gun. Don't you feel safe enough? Like it's in your holster. You're in your uniform. I don't.
Bad instincts.
I don't get it.
And also definitely under the influence. Maybe got off her shift, still had her gun on her, went somewhere. And you're allowed to carry a gun though, still, aren't you, in Texas?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Hey guys, you having trouble getting your penis hard? Check out Samurai gas station boner pills. You can get them at any gas station nationwide. They have a ninja on the front, and on the back they have an illustration of a Japanese man putting his hard, erect penis into a woman. You know, if you're like me, you're always self-conscious about your soft, floppy dick that was too small, but these pills really work. I wouldn't be pushing a product if I didn't absolutely believe in it. Right, Deborah?
Right.
And they're available at Shell, BP, ExxonMobil, Valero, anywhere that you get your gas, you can find these boner pills. Now back to the show. So, you know, one thing we didn't think about, I sometimes wonder if I have a tendency to, like, maybe it's just the programming that I have, but maybe I have a tendency to, like, defend cops too much and defend white people too much. Because the whole time we're sitting here and we're thinking, like, how did she do that? Why did she shoot him? It doesn't make any sense. But then you got to think, like, this guy was probably fucking scared too. Like, we've all had those moments. We've all had those moments where, like, you think someone is coming into your house, or you think that, you know, and, like,
Yeah, you called me today because you were nervous about, like, a small Venezuelan woman and her granddaughter.
I wasn't nervous about her. I just thought it was weird that she came into the gate. That's all.
Yeah. No, I don't feel like, I feel like my instinct but I agree, like, you do. I feel like initially I'm like, oh, white woman killed a black guy. She's racist and she's a cop. So she did it because, like, she's racist.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I'm listening to the argument and I'm just saying, like, I don't see how that holds up, even if I were to be objective. Fundamentally, my mind goes to racism as soon as I hear Texas, especially.
Mm-hmm. Well, another reason that this case is important is because, like, you do have to look at things with a historical context, and there has been a history in this country of the past few years of, like, cops and civilians killing black people because they're scared.
Right.
And I think people just have to stop being afraid of black and brown people.
Yeah, you heard it here first, folks. Stop being afraid.
But that is, like, a real part of
I know, yeah, it's
Americans.
It's, like, really sad, and I guess I, like, saw it more when I worked in high school, where, like, the high schoolers would kind of point out more frequently that I was white and stuff. But, like, for the majority of my career, I have been, like, one of the only white people in the building.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Yay.
I don't know why you were cheering for that, but yeah, it's just whatever. It's like where we live. And I don't know. I just feel like it's sad and I hate it and I wish it wasn't, like, a thing. I don't have anything funny to say or a point to make. It's just like,
yeah.
It just sucks. I also don't like the idea of, like, the majority of the schools. I'm not saying.
I just feel like there's more. There's just more to the story that I don't know. There's some element to this story that we're missing. I mean, unless maybe not. I mean, maybe she was panicked and he was panicked and she wasn't thinking and she just, like.
You know? But you are a cop. You are supposed to rely on your instincts in order to, like, what if that was a real life, like, high stakes crime situation where you needed to, like, get somebody out of a hostage situation, or you needed to, like, maintain
I know, but it's also pretty rare that black people kill cops. A lot of it's like some white guy in the woods who's like, I hate the government.
Right, those are the people who kill cops.
Okay, so another reason, though, why this case is important is, like, like I said, when you look at historical context, a lot of black people have been killed by cops and by civilians, and we can't set this precedent in America that, you know, you can just shoot a guy because you're scared. I mean, there was a guy in Florida who, like, killed a black teenager because, like, the kid's music was too loud, and they, like, got into an altercation, and the guy came back with his gun and, like, shot the kid.
Is Dallas known as, like, a very racist place?
I don't think so.
So in Dallas News...
No, actually, it's pretty diverse. It's like 42% Hispanic and like 29% black.
This headline says, I spent my entire adult life trying to unlearn the racism I grew up with in Dallas.
Yeah.
But it's just one article. But still, like...
Or Jersey. Or America. Or Staten Island.
I don't know. I feel like I really didn't grow up in like a racist atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
I strongly don't agree with that. But yeah, it's just like I grew up in Dallas in the 1950s and 60s, and I learned.
So here's something. Yamanika shared this video on her Instagram where I'm quoting someone else here, but she said, "What in the Sambo, Uncle Tom, Aunt Jemima, Coon, stepping for shit hell is going on here?" And I'm going to show you this video. It's a white. So Amber Guyger's in the chair. It's a black bailiff massaging her hair.
So, how do cops get persecuted in their own district? Or
there's probably like a...
Like, do they have to go to a different town or county?
No, I don't think so.
Or does she know, like, does this woman know her? Yeah, why is she doing that? Her? Yeah, like, because she was working and she felt bad?
Yeah.
I don't know. Weird.
Yeah. Well, she was found guilty, and we'll see what happens. We'll keep you posted. Let's talk about another police cover-up. This happened in Chicago. So there was a 16-year-old kid named LaQuan McDonald, and he was, like, going around, and he was, like, slashing tires with a knife. And apparently, like, the cops stopped him, and the cop tells him to drop the knife, and the kid, like, turns around and walks away, and the cop shoots him. Like, I think he empties, like, 16 bullets into the kid. He shoots him, like... 7 times, and then the kid falls on the ground. He shoots him 7 more times after he's dead. And the mayor of Chicago paid the family of LaQuan McDonald $5 million before the thing even went to trial.
And it went to trial still?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because I think there was like because I think what the mayor did was he tried to settle out of court. And they probably had to sign a non-disclosure agreement or something.
So, I don't know. Do you think all cops are bad?
No.
I really don't. I truly don't. I think there are more good cops than there are bad cops. But that doesn't mean that they're... I think because there are lots of, like, bad people. I'm not somebody who thinks, like, the majority, like, you know, people are fundamentally good. I don't think
there is,
that.
like, this leftist thing where they're like, yeah, all the cops are bad.
No, I don't agree with that. That's, like, pretty shallow-minded to
all
think.
Firefighters are bad. We can agree on that.
Because they're so hot.
No, Deborah.
They're so sexy.
No, they're not.
There's
Stop
no
that.
Cop,
Stop it.
There's no cop calendar.
Stop it. No, there's not.
No, there's no cops just saving innocent people from burning buildings. It's cops like, you're not allowed to smoke weed here.
There should be a garbage man.
Throw out that.
There should be a garbage man calendar.
Yeah, there should. Those guys look great too.
Yeah.
I mean, cop is not a fun job.
Yeah. But I also heard that it's relatively safe.
To be a cop?
Yeah.
It can't be safe if they give you a gun and they make you, like, go face first into crime scenarios.
Yeah, but there's really not that much crime. And the problem is, like, people watch movies like, you know, Lethal Weapon where, like, they make heroes out of cops.
Are those cops or detectives?
They portray cops as heroes in movies, but so that you can look at a cop and go, oh, that guy's like a hero. When really, crime is like not a big deal. There's almost no crime anywhere you go.
Not according to the Citizen app.
Yeah, okay. I guess that's not true.
But I definitely would be more fearful.
What's on the Citizen app right now?
My phone's in the other room.
Okay.
I'll pause. Okay. Less than 3 miles away, police requested backup for crowd control at Thomas Boylan Street and McDonough. I go there all the time. Mm-hmm. Just for an incident. Mm-hmm. 14 comments. Everyone's mad loud. This dude's trying to sleep. The comments are funny. It's Tuesday. Some of us gotta work. Just watch the B7 bus making a detour on Chauncey. Maybe street is blocked ahead. Bunch of teenagers fighting. Okay, not a big deal. What else? Do you have the Citizen app? Man assaulted person on Broadway. Officers en route. Assault. Report of gunfire. Knife displayed during dispute. Person slashed in face. Shots fired. Gas odor. Vehicle collision with injury. Person robbed. Person carrying firearm. Building fire. Fist fight. Stove fire. 2 women fighting.
Nice.
Gas odor. Man with knife apprehended by police. Car collided with motorcycle. Fist fight. Domestic assault. Person assaulted. Car crash with injuries. All within 16 hours.
Wow.
And all within 1 mile. No, all within 2 miles.
So what I want to say is, just before we wrap up, there's the movie The Irishman is coming out.
Okay.
And one thing they're saying is that this movie... So first of all, I was talking to Steve about this movie today, and he said that, like...
Your brother Steve?
My brother Steve.
Not the guy you accidentally called on my phone today?
I called the wrong guy on Deborah's... I was on the phone with my brother, and my phone died, and I picked up Deborah's phone, and I called Steve in her phone.
Yeah.
And it wasn't my brother.
No. I think it was my ex-boss. Boss's husband. Did it sound like an old man?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I can't believe he answered. He used to say such horrible things about me after I left, saying, like, he thinks I left their private practice because I was pregnant and I was going to Jersey for my mom to raise my baby. Because he was just so sad that I didn't stay at their place.
Give me the phone. I'll call this guy right now.
Well, what if it wasn't? I don't remember.
Give me the phone.
No.
You don't remember? I'll kick this guy's fucking ass.
All right, do it. I think he has autism.
I don't care. I will beat the shit out of his autistic ass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think I never hit an autistic person before? All right. What I want to say is this.
Right.
So The Irishman is coming out, and what they're saying is that, like, this movie, unlike Scorsese's other movies, will not be a celebration of toxic masculinity. It'll be more of a critique of it.
Wait.
Which it's like that's what all those movies are. Woke people think they're so fucking smart, and they're not. They're stupid. They're stupid, and they're not entertaining, and they're not interesting, and they have nothing to say. And they should not. No one should listen to them.
But all entertainment is woke now.
Yeah.
But, like, wait, is De Niro the Irishman?
Yeah.
He's playing an Irish guy?
De Niro is Irish. He's mostly Irish.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting.
And Joe Pesci's in it. Al Pacino's in it. And
wait, so why are all the Italian guys in the Irish movie?
In it. I don't know, but you say stuff sometimes where I'm like... It's like talking to a 10-year-old.
No, there's no way that's not relevant. They made their whole career off Italian stuff. Did that become boring?
It's about the Italian mob.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I asked you that.
It's about an Irish hitman for the Italian mob.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, what they're saying is they were like, oh, this movie's going to be more of an indictment of toxic masculinity, not a celebration of it. Because as we all know, like, Goodfellas was a celebration of...
Right.
Nothing bad happened to those characters.
Did anything?
Yes.
Like what?
Joe Pesci got shot in the back of the fucking head.
But don't they all know it's coming to them?
De Niro went to jail. Henry Hill became a rat, lost all his friends. He lost everything.
But don't they all go into it knowing, like, that's how it's going to end?
Yeah, but it ends bad.
But that's their choice.
But Henry Hill died, like his wife left him. He betrayed his friends. He had no money. Like he just, you know, it's not.
Yeah, he suffered the consequences of his actions. That's such a shame.
He suffered the consequences of his actions.
Oh boy,
but
that
they
poor
make
man.
No, but I'm saying they make that very. You think you're so fucking smart, and you're not. They make that very clear in the movie. You're not a deep thinker.
Oh, I'm not like you.
I'm a deep thinker.
Yeah.
I've always have been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, where were we?
I don't know. Thinking deeply.
Yeah, but I guess I'm excited to see that movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure, I'll go to the movies.
Well, it's on Netflix.
Oh.
It's coming to Netflix November 1st.
Sweet.
Andrea's birthday.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Mike is missing his siblings. He's mentioned almost all of them on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all of them, pretty much.
There's only one I haven't mentioned because I'm mad at him.
Why?
No, I'm not mad.
Because he shrunk your clothes?
Yeah, he did. All right, so we got to wrap up, but I do want to say fuck the police. They're no good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I will not say that.
Yeah, because Deborah's related to them.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Guys, go subscribe to us on Patreon. Huh? Please replace the people that we've lost. Please kick us a couple bucks.
Tell us what you would like Mike to talk about.
I'm going to post some recipes on Patreon really soon, some food recipes, so that'll be fun.
Yeah. And do you think that this should maintain being a crime podcast? Let Mike know.
I know what the answer to that is. Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, thanks a lot. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.